Hello, and welcome back to Divine Journey 2. I forgot to turn the HUD off, but you probably don't care that much about that. Last time we took our first steps proper into Chapter 29 here. We got a handful of creative items down all the way here to the flux capacitor. We built up this high voltage plasmifier, which I've since given a marginally better home and made look a little bit cooler in my opinion. I think the glass helps a lot. We also built out a fusion reactor over there, or fusion plant. I think it's not technically a reactor because it doesn't generate power, it just uses it. But yeah, it's pretty helpful. Saves us a lot of resources on some of the worst types of chemicals we need to make. Between episodes, I've been doing a little bit around the place. Nothing too crazy, though. A lot of idling and stuff like that, because we're still out of Tenebrae. But I get to show you something cool that we did. We're now using the Celestial Manipulator, because this actually is redstone controllable. So no more rain. Be gone. I can actually tolerate being around here now because it's not raining all the time. And honestly, I feel like my performance has been mildly better because of it. Yeah, I've been adding a few little kind of tweaks around the place, just little details to the base and stuff like that. I'll probably show everything off that's really cool in, the pack finale or something like that. I don't know, I haven't really planned that far ahead. But, we'll get to that. You'll see stuff, I'm sure. Anyway, for today, the docket's pretty simple. I would like to get the creative energy cell. While we're waiting on stuff to backlog, I'd like to probably pick up a few essences. I want creative tank if we can do it, because creative tank would be really dope. And if we get stuff past that, well, gravy's good. And if we're lucky, maybe we hit chest today. Creative chest does a lot. Oh, and there's our ultimate machine frame for the creative power cell that I was about to go make. This is our next quest in the line here to get to the ME power cell, or creative energy cell for applied energistics. This one's pretty cheap. It's just a bunch of, nothing, plus an ultimate machine frame and an infinite battery, plus a couple of these molten furnaces we got from the Dungeon of Arcana. We do have a few of these spare, so that's okay. Starting off strong, nice and easy. And of course, noises are already bugged because I couldn't even tell ya. But hey, at least we get a stack of dragon tokens. That's pretty nice. That's like a stack of wyvern cores. Next up is the creative qubit cluster. This dark stone is pretty easy. We have this on passive, same is true of the amplification crystals. These qubit cluster level 5s, though, I feel like I recall making these before, though. Yes, we did for the NASA workbench. Well, 1. And now we need 2. That's alright, we can just request... Oh. Well, we can request 1, then request the other. Yep, pretty easy once again. Quest? Hello? Oh, there we go. That was really weird. Maybe some NBT funkiness. Well, another 16 awakened dragon tokens should help at least a little bit. Next up is, I believe this is a pretty strong one, is a creative capacitor bank from Ender.io. 500,000 RF tickets. Oh, hold up, that's a solar panel. Okay. Well, the rest of the stuff is pretty easy, so I'll put all that together, and then we'll look at the solar panel. Yeah, this is the only thing we're actually missing from this. That said, I also recall we need these chaotic solar panels for another creative item. Yes, for the energy cell in probably just a moment here. So we're probably just going to need to set up a crafting chain for all of this. And quite the crafting chain it is. Thankfully, we have up to photovoltaics 4, which is something, I guess. But we need to do everything else, so let me go and code a bunch of recipes. Alright, so while we do need the draconic solar panel, there's also a bunch of quests up here. So I may as well, get all these quests along the way, right? Oh, the chaotic one isn't a quest. Well, that's alright. And we have a creative capacitor bank. 4 corrupted dragon tokens, not bad. Alright, next we need the draconic flux capacitor. We need some red matter, some draconic flux capacitors, the non-creative variety, and a mill. Oh, I just realized I didn't put the other things in storage. Hopefully we just, don't need the power cell or the other thing. Yeah, we shouldn't need another qubit cluster, I'd imagine. So that's okay. Tactical fumble, tactical fumble. Alright, last of our creative mills. Ignore that was there. That totally wasn't there. You didn't see nothing. I didn't mess up a craft. You're wrong. Oh, some antimatter clusters. Well, I mean, that's good, but I'd kind of already bulk crafted a few. I did some reading ahead, and it seemed like we needed about 40, so I made 44. Well, now we have 52 for kicks and giggles, I guess. Alright, next up we have the creative energy cell for AE2. So some blocks of black iron is pretty much free, white matter's pretty much free if just, tedious. Dense energy cells we've made quite a lot of. We have the 3 capacitors that we've made, the chaotic solar panel we just made, and a Klein Star Omega, which is made of 4 spheres, 4 viers, 4 tries, 4 spies, and 4 eins. Can you tell I took German in high school? I'm really good at it, right? So I believe we need 16 stacks of Eins. So I am not crafting those because these don't stack. So I guess I will be making patterns for these. Overall, actually making these is pretty doable. It was just diamonds in that red coal you saw. And that red coal is just EMC, so it's no big deal. Well, the enemy system doesn't recognize patterns again because I don't know. So I guess we're making these manually because we only need the one anyway. I understand why Applied Energistics is like this, but it will never cease to frustrate me. There's our Klein Star Omega. No quest for that one. But with everything else, we get a quest for this one. And no sounds again. So now we have access to the Creative Energy Battery from Integrated Dynamics. This one seems pretty darn easy, I'll be honest. This seems just more like a formality than anything. Yep, nice and easy. Next up is the Creative Lightning Cell. Whole lot of plutonium, some infused glass might be a little tricky, mystic lightning cells. Alright, we're actually gonna have to look at recipes for these ones. Well, we actually had the lightning generators already on AutoCraft, so we'll do that. For the mystic lightning cells, we can add a pattern. And then the infused glass we've done before. Actually pretty easy. I just hope we have enough nocturnal powder. And we do, look at that. Oh, apparently that was a quest. Pretty easy stuff though, overall. Ooh, half a stack of Gurk, that's pretty nice. Oh, and 8 reactor stabilizers. Also, this was not true. Mine were not empty. Alright, and now we get the truly infinite power with the creative capacitor. So we need some copernicium, moscovium, fluorovium, and some HV capacitors, as well as our lightning cell. Now, copernicium, moscovium, and fluorovium, we have not done literally any of these. These are all done in the fusion plant, because these are all very big numbers. So, it shouldn't be too bad. Looks like we also get 3. So that's kinda awesome. We have 3 places to put this. I guess we could stick one on the actual battery, so we don't have to worry about running out of power when we watch the fusion again. So that's cool. So 24 plus 90 makes 114. 22 plus 90 makes 112, and 37 plus 78 makes 115 for Moscovium. Oh, that was pretty easy, all things considered. So they do give us 3 of these, one of which needs to go to Draconic Fusion. I don't know if we're going to need all of these, but we might. So we'll hold on to it, we'll just leave it here for the time being though. So we need 24 trillion RF. We also need a handful of just wacky stuff, but none of this seems particularly hard. I mean, the worst thing here would be the Gurk, but I mean, they gave us some of that, so, no biggie. So what are we thinking? You think Integrated Dynamics can hold this? I increased all the throughputs to the 32-bit integer limit. Let's see if it's good enough. I mean, that's not slow. We only need to do it once. It ain't that big of a deal if it takes a little bit of time. So I think I'm going to take one of these capacitors and just smack it here. So that should keep this topped off basically forever. And, if we need this, we'll have it there. And then we've also got the one over by the fusion plant. Or, not fusion plant, but Draconic Fusion. So let's do some essences. We can use the essence of inversion to make the essence of the contrary, with these essences of enlargement, crystal clusters, and a hellish bauble. We've done 3 of these things before, just not this bauble. But this bauble seems quite easy. Rather cheap, all things considered. It does take a whole lot of will, but I mean, we have a Grand Tartaric gem in one of those forges somewhere, I think. Well, while that's crafting up, or more specifically while the stuff for the crystal cluster is crafting, let's look at the Creative Energy Cube. Osgoglass, ultimate induction cells we've made before, one of these capacitors, plus some fermium and hassium. Hassium is 108, and fermium is a clean 100. So let's combine some more chemicals. So 30 plus 78 makes 108, and 22 plus 78 makes 100. Makes 100. While our chemicals are casting, let's put this together. 1 essence of the contrary. I love being contrary. And as you may have seen, our hassium and fermium finished up. So we get our Creative Energy Cube. So next we need to make the Creative Energy Source from extra utilities. With some wireless RF batteries. Oh, that's 4 rainbow generators. Oh, okay. I mean, I suppose that makes sense. I just, didn't expect it to be 4 rainbow generators. Well, let's put some stuff together, because I imagine none of this is particularly expensive. We just gotta set some more patterns for the rainbow gens. I'm looking a little bit ahead, though, and I think we do need at least 2 of these creative capacitors for these creative RF sources, which we get from the energy source, from the cube, from the capacitor. So I should probably grab 2 of those back. Yeah, it looks like we only need 2 of the RF sources, I think. One for the drum and the tank. We could make the gas tank, but I don't really care to. And it doesn't seem like it's used for very much besides the bin, which is after chest, so we'll worry about that then. So on the bright side, we do get to keep 1 capacitor for our actual base battery. Well, it seems like we're missing a couple things for the rainbow generators. First off, we need some enchanted golden berries, which is not too bad. We made some of these for dank gnolls. Some splash potions of luck, we can just brew these. Enchanting tables and blocks of ender pearls are easy enough, those are just recipes. Our buffer of quartz burnt needs to go up. Same thing with our buffer of machine blocks. And 16 pink linen, which is specifically linen, which is the bolts of linen cloth, which is the linen thread, which is the spinning wheel. I guess I'll do this while I wait for everything else to finish. Alright, well that took a brief eternity. Nah, not really. Compared to other things, that ain't too bad. Oh, yo, look at the number. It's also RGB, that's super funny. Alright, let's upgrade again. Creative energy sources. Yeah, all you ever talk about is power. When do we get, like, fluids, you know? Look at this guy. 16 magical singularities is kind of nice. Ooh, and another 8 corrupted dragon tokens. Alright, last one. Or at least last of the power ones, is the Draconic Evolution creative energy source. So I think we've done most of the things required for this. I mean, we just got the corrupted dragon tokens we need. We took a little bit of the Draconium infused obsidian from when we went and fought the Chaos Guardian. These energy cores I don't think we've made before. Doesn't look too bad. I think we can do this. Yeah, we also have a pattern for the wireless energy crystals, so we need 8 of these. Need some more solar ingots. We've been buffering that. Oh, goodness, that's a lot of steel rods. A couple buffer issues overall. I think we can do this. We just need to request it in 2 parts. And then the stabilizers we did a lot of for the plasma fire, I think it was, right? And we're missing solar ingots, so we gotta figure out what's wrong with solar ingots. I assume it's just everything is going into draconic cores because we're still backlogging those or something, probably. This was the problem. We were out of dragon's blood resin for the bottled hellfire. I've been making a bunch of this with the transmutation tablet lately, and it seems to just never be enough. But now we should be okay, just gotta give it a little bit of time. So in the meantime, let's take a little look at the docket. Let's take that off. And, well, I guess let's do step 2 while we wait for stuff to buffer. This was all part of the plan, right? I think I said that at least. Alright, so let's start down here. So we need some essences of foundation. We need some of the stone Leonard statues, some white matter, and a bunch of the divine RPG statues, but I think we have a boatload of these. Yeah, we've got a few. We killed Vimasheron quite a few times. The stone Leonard statue takes some more bottled hellfire, which might be a little bit of an issue with us. Oh no. I recall the stew of the grotesque being quite unsavory to make, but I think the only things would be the shards. Do we have 8 shards? We have 4. I don't suppose I kept that ghost spawner, did I? Well, you know, we're buffering stuff, so this is a good rabbit hole to get caught in. So if I believe it's right, you do it like this, and then, well, there should be some particles, but my game's messed up. I should probably also grab a weapon. Ooh, or a soul vial might be a better option. Alright, stews of the grotesque. I remember making this, and I don't remember being happy about it. I turned off basically everything for the Witch's Cauldron, so hopefully we should be pretty much unimpeded to do this. Alright, there's one stew, we just need, you know, the other 3. So now we can make our Leonard statues. Oh, whoops, I guess we're using Gabbro instead of normal stone. And now we can make our essences of foundation with some random statues that I don't particularly care much about. Alright, so let's get logical. So we need to craft the ingredients shown on the right, and solve the logic puzzle in the Book of Logic. So each character, Steve, Alex, and Herobrine, have 3 attributes: age, amount of friends, and height. So we need to find the values, and we will read in the Book of Logic about the clues that will tell us the values. We can combine some numbers with the age modifiers, friends modifiers, and height modifiers to basically say, here's how many we want to go up, down, etc. We can add +1, 10, 100, or 1,000. Oh, and they give us a bunch of modifiers for free. That's nice. So everything is a positive whole number. So we need some brown dye, orange dye, white dye, and a book. Yeah, these modifiers are also pretty cheap. We'll make like 12 of each, because why not, right? Who cares? Alright, so I'll throw up a little spoiler warning, and it should tell you about how far down in the episode you can go to skip this bit if you either don't care or don't want, you know, boilers. But, you know, I'm gonna crack open the book now, so be aware of that. Oh, I was like, well, that's a stupid book. Why'd they just tell me to write a command? Alright, so we have 9 statements to figure it out. So Herobrine has 1 friend. Easy known. Maybe I should get like a notepad or something for this. Alright, so Herobrine only has the 1 friend. We know this is a fact, so we can just set that and forget it. To be quite frank, I'm surprised he even has a friend. Steve is a year older than Alex, so whatever Alex is, Steve is 1 more than that. Steve and Herobrine are the same height. Good to know. 20 years ago, Herobrine was twice the age of Steve and Alex combined. And Steve makes 61 friends a year. So we know Steve is Alex plus 1. And Herobrine minus 20 equals Steve plus Alex. We know Alex was originally 66 centimeters and gained height every year she's been alive. So we need to find out Alex's height, and we'll get a lot of information, I bet. The difference between the number of friends of Alex and Steve is exactly Herobrine's height. Well, that's good to know, probably. If every year, starting from now, Herobrine were to double his friend count, then in 11 years he would have 331 fewer friends than Steve. And Steve also gains friends every year. Okay, I'll have to write that one out pretty lengthily, I imagine. Alex has 114 more friends than 5 times the combined height of her Steve and herself. 114 more than 5 times the combined height of Steve and herself. Okay, so imagine this is a pretty good place to start. So in 11 years, Herobrine... Okay, so... hold on, let me get a calculator. So this is describing 2048, because this is 2 to the 11th. So 2048 is 331 less than Steve's friends. So 2048 plus 331 is 2379. So Steve is a very well-spoken individual, my goodness. Oh shoot, but we also have to remember that Steve gains friends every year. He gains 4 every year, right? No, 61 friends a year. So we also have to increase that by 61 times 11. So he has another 671 friends, right? Is that my math right? Yes, I think so. No, 2048. Yeah, so 2048 is 331 minus Steve's friends. But Steve's friends in 11 years would be 671 higher than it is. So I need to subtract 671 from this. Okay, so Steve has a much more reasonable 1708 friends. I guess it must be that Facebook type of thing where you just add everybody, right? Is that anything? Am I just showing my age now? Who cares? No one's watching a logic puzzle section of the video if they care about that, right? Alright, so next we know that Steve is a year older than Alex, so Steve's age is conditional on Alex's age. And Steve's age is conditional on Steve's height is conditional on Herobrine's height. So those two we have to figure out at the end. So the difference between Alex and Steve's friends is both of their height. So we'll figure that out once we can figure out Alex's friends. But Alex has 114 more friends than 5 times the combined height of Steve and herself. So we kind of need to know the height. So if we can find Herobrine's height, then we'd be chillin'. And if we could find Alex's age, that would also let us know that. So if we know Herobrine's age, we could figure all that out. But I think Herobrine's age is conditional and everything. Wait a minute. If Steve is getting 61 friends every year, we can just divide that by 61, right? So 1708 divided by 61, 28? So Steve is 28. And Steve is a year older than Alex, which means Alex is 27. And so we know that 20 years ago, Herobrine was twice as old as Steve and Alex together. So 20 years ago, they would have been 15 combined, and he was twice that age, so he's 50 then, because it would be twice 15 plus 20, so he's 50 years old. So that means Herobrine is officially Unk status, right? Is that what we're telling? Is that hip enough for everybody? Am I jingling keys enough for you? So because we now know that Alex was 27, we can do 66 plus 27 times 4, and that's Alex's height. So Alex is 174 centimeters. And we know that the difference between Alex and Steve's friends is Herobrine's height. We don't know how many friends Alex has, though. Okay, but we do know that Alex has 114 times more friends, or 114 more friends than 5 times the combined height of Steve and herself. But we don't know Steve's height. We know Herobrine's height. I mean, Herobrine's height is Steve's height. We just need to figure out Herobrine's height. That's the issue, isn't it? So let's try and work backwards. So we know that Alex's friends is equal to Steve's height plus her height times 5 plus 114. That's some very complicated looking math. I'm sorry if that makes your head hurt. That came off kind of mean. I'm sorry about that. So the issue is I don't really know what to do with this function, at least right now, because it's just a variable, right? So we just need Steve and Herobrine's height and Alex's friends, but those both feel conditional on each other. Yeah, because we know that these are the same height, so if we find one, we find both. So number 6 makes me believe that we need Alex's friends to know Herobrine's height. But to know Herobrine's height, we need Alex's friends? Oh, of Steve and herself. Okay, so I can probably replace some of these variables. Because Alex is 174 centimeters. So we could do Alex's friends minus 114 equals Steve's height plus 174. Oh, all that times 5. Now, my first instinct would be to divide both sides by 5, but that doesn't really work here because those aren't whole numbers. Well, actually, I guess we can just leave this as like Alex's friends minus 114 over 5 equals the height of Steve plus 174. This is some pretty gross math. The other problem is we're still left with variables on both sides. Let me take this back to the drawing board. Okay, so I think I have an idea. So we know that Alex's friends is equal to all this nonsense. But we also know that Herobrine's height is equal to all this nonsense, because the book told me so. That said, we also know that Herobrine's height is still equal to Steve's height. So if we can find something that fits in both of these, that would make Alex's friends work, we'd be fine. The problem is I don't really want to brute force that, and I don't know how I would go about not brute forcing that. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done, like, algebra, so you gotta bear with me here. I believe addition and subtraction you can do in or out of parentheses, though, so I think we can just add 114 to both sides. So we know that Steve's height plus 114 equals 1708 minus Alex's friends. And I think we can subtract 1708 from both sides, if I'm not mistaken. So we know that Steve's height minus 1594 equals negative Alex's friends. So I think we can notate this as Alex's friends equals 1594 minus Steve's height. But we also know that to be... I feel like I'm doing this wrong. I feel like I'm like really doing this wrong. I feel like I gotta be missing something, because there's no way that both of these are dependent on each other, right? Like, that feels not reasonable. But at the same time, I don't know how else we would find out Steve or Herobrine's height, for that matter, or Alex's friends. Alright, so I've been here for like an hour and a half, give or take. I've been running through equations and stuff, and I found out that it actually matters a little bit in the way that you format it. If I remember, I'll throw something up on screen that's like my notes that I have. But for the most part, I was running into an issue of trying to find the difference between, so this is between Alex and Steve's difference in friends. I was doing the subtractions in the wrong way, basically, for like an hour, and wondering why I kept getting decimal answers when it says that you don't get decimal answers. It's because I was supposed to subtract it in the other way, because I assumed Steve had more friends than Alex, when Alex has more friends than Steve. So because of all that, I know that Steve is 181 centimeters. Look, man, I'm not gonna explain it. I'm like, I'm like actually keyed up. I'm mad. I'm like mad. I've been so frustrated. Anyway, now that I know that that's how you get Alex's friends, I'm gonna solve for Alex's friends by adding 1708 to both sides. I can do that part of math. That one's easy. So Alex has 1,889 friends. Someone's a lot more popular than I am, and I'm not bitter about it. Okay, so now we have all of these three set up. I just need to go make an essence of thought to make our essence of logic. So the essence of thought is a bunch of canvas, zombie brains, knowledge of the sky, some covalence dust, a little bit of white matter, and a humble 2,000 buckets of essence of knowledge. Which, we do have that much liquid XP, so hopefully that counts. Can you believe I was here so long that Tenebrae started backlogging? We had like 2 stacks of dark cores to finish logging, by the way. So this is like 8 stacks of Tenebrae that's been building. Well, I mean, on the bright side, we'll have it for the future. I'm probably just gonna finish the essence of thought and like take a break. I'm not in the right space for this, I think. I need to like, Alright, and I should be able to just dump all this stuff in here. Yes. And there is the essence of thought. Oh, I'm not gonna be forgetting this, that's for darn sure. And so my hope is that if I put these all together, yes, essence of logic. Well, it took me a while, but at least I got it first try. Far too many winkle. Let's see, what do I get for that? I got some covalence dust, infused diamonds, 16 corrupted dragon tokens. Thank you for that. That makes me feel a lot better. Now, I gotta say, I was fully prepared for it to not be algebra, and like hard algebra at that. Well, I guess it wasn't hard. I just kind of flip-flopped the numbers the wrong way. Okay, that's enough of me complaining about it. I don't want to ruin the sanctity of the spoiler wall. Well, before I take my actual break, I'm almost done making these things for this. I just need to backlog some more steel rods. So we've got a couple things that we can kill some time with in the meantime, like the essence of cycles. We need the essence of life we have, a Dandelifian, an essence of death, and the death core. I made a spare death core when I was making the stews of the grotesque. The Dandelifian, though, no, that's pretty easy. Alright, so life, death, bam. We should have the altar power for this. I know we have at least 8,000. I built it up between episodes. Oh, okay, just gave it to me. Cool. And some extra death cores, that's nice. Alright, how about the Essence of Motion? This also seems pretty easy. Alright, so 2 Modus crystals, an Electron, a Motor, and 2 White Matter. Another 8 Corrupted cores, very nice. Well, I guess we can do a couple things down here. How about this Essence of Additivity? Looks like we only need the 1, so let's put this together. Some Europium, Neodymium, and some not too expensive stuff, I think. This Ender Star is new, so we need an Avitus, a Radiant Star, plus some Enhanced Ender Ingots and some Star Metal Singularities. And there's 1 Essence of Additivity, all 1 we'll need. Next we have 3 little things down here. The Essence of Length, made from compressing 200 rulers. The Essence of Opening, made of 1,000 oak doors. And the Essence of Enclosement, of 100 cardboard boxes. So let's encode some recipes for that, because the Neutronium Compressor actually has auto-crafting now. We can then take our Essence of Length and our final Essence of Enlargement, plus a stack of pistons, and make the Essence of Extension. And now we could theoretically make the Essence of Space, using a perfect vacuum, the Essence of Enclosement, and the Essence of Opening to make the actual essence itself. But we'll need to melt this down for liquid space, of which we get a very, very small amount, and we need a very large amount. So we'll melt it down after we get Creative Tank, but I mean, I guess we can craft the essence itself right now, right? Elves, I offer a trade. One of these, and these. Hey, that's what I wanted. How do you think they, feel about that? I just gave them a perfect vacuum and, a super box. Much to think about on their end, I'm sure. Alright, finally. 2 creative RF sources. And so next, in order to actually start getting the creative tanks, we need to go back here for the creative oxygen supply, and the creative coolant ports and steam generators. We'll do this stuff after I take a little break, but, I guess for both of our sakes, I'm just telling you now before I, tell you again in 20 seconds, right? Good morning. I hope you enjoyed that montage, because it might be the last one you'll ever see for this series. No, probably not. There'll probably 1, maybe 2 more. Alright, so picking back up where we left off, we have a few different methods of attack. For one, I know we're going to need these Essence of the Broken, so we're going to need, I think, 2 total Red Morning Stars, maybe 3. I have to double check. We need this Infinite Oxygen Supply. I believe we need 4 of these. Yes, we need 4 for 2 for a drum, 2 for a tank. So we need 32 heavy oxygen tanks. Oh boy. We also need a whole lot of these oxygen concentrators, but I made 24 earlier, and now we've got 24 more on the way, so hopefully that'll be good. These heavy oxygen tanks look fine. We might need some more unending bowls, though. I hope we crafted enough earlier. I've been crafting them quite consistently. Oh, no. Oh, dear. That's not good. Well, I remember the thing that took the longest about that was far and away the charred stone, so it's just a bunch of bark, moss, and stone. Well, while those are cooking up, I guess we also need to make the reactive coolant ports. Or reactor creative coolant ports. I totally mashed 3 of those words together. We need 2 of each of these, of the reactive reactor creative coolant ports and the turbine creative steam generators. I think this is all pretty easy. We haven't made turbine stuff before, and I think we have Oganesson. No. 92 plus 26 makes 118. We're also going to need another, 8 of these creative modifiers, so I think we can just request that. More Fury Fire, but otherwise we're good. But yeah, I think the turbine casings are pretty easy. Yeah, these are doable, totally. Alright, and we should be able to make our creative steam generators. And we're just waiting on 2 more modifiers to be done before we can make the coolant ports. I've been having way too much fun just making doodads in this world, I gotta tell ya. I've become a real doodad enthusiast. Also, that's just been really nice to have. Like, if I'm doing something over here and I hear the ding-dong of the elevator come in, I just know that I got good things waiting for me. It's awesome. I highly recommend if you ever do something like this, of having just some note blocks kind of tell you when things are ready if you need to, do something yourself. It's fun. Anyway, there's the coolant ports. So we're still working on the oxygen tanks because we're out of Chardstone, so we're still just waiting for Chardstone. I should probably also request some of these barium calcite perpetuators. Ah, I see an issue. Well, if we're waiting on that stuff for here, and thus here, I suppose we can take a look down here at some clay, or the colored light adhesive yieldings. In total, I believe we need 2 essence of ways, one for this essence of continuity, and one for the essence of movement, as well as we need a couple for the creative fluid tanks. So we need 12 clays for the ways, 4 clanks for the tanks, or no we don't, we only need 2. And we need 16 for the Ascension drive. I don't got any funny bits for that one, sorry. So I think we need a total of 30 of these. So we need 30 antimatter clusters and the rest of the stuff times 30. Well, the only 2 things here I don't recognize are gelatinous slime drops, which are just the blue slime balls. Albeit you gotta dry them for 5 minutes, so that's not great. And these blue ink cap extracts, which are from blue ink caps. I wonder if you can grow those. Which are from mushrooms, iron gall ink, and liquid witchcraft. And iron gall ink is cold iron, apple galls, and ink sacs. How many of those do I get per craft? I get 4. I need 30 of these, so I need 120 of these. I need like 2 stacks. I mean, it's free, right? That's something. I'll get batch crafting. That'll kill some time while Chardstone chars. Oh, and I'm sure you'll all be very proud of me. I finally automated corruption cores. The only problem is that, we're basically, we don't need to make these anymore. We needed, I think, 14 in total, and you'll notice we have 13. So I automated, the last 4 of them. So that's something, I guess. We are still out of dark cores, though, which we're always out of Tenebrae. What's to be expected here? Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh, no, 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 no! Oh, no! Oh, no. Oh, no! Okay. That's, really bad. Okay. Uh-oh. We are out of Destructive Will. And I'm not seeing this producing anything like the others do. Well, that's problematic, because that's, the one that we need nowadays still, right? Yeah, we need these for crystallizers if we ever need more of these. As well as, destruction catalysts. Which I think we did make the extra essence of destruction, so maybe that's okay. Yeah, I don't think we need to make another destruction catalyst, so that's fine. That's really bad. I should have kept some of these spare, but that's okay. I have a different plan. So the reason this is a problem is because this is out of will. What? I think I can just recolor this to the normal one, and now it's a problem for normal will, which hopefully won't be a problem. Look, we're almost at the end of the pack. Fires put themselves out. That's how fires work. Or at least I'm desperately hoping. Well, I suppose if there was any time to have that as a problem, I prefer it now than, a long time ago. Anyway, with Void Reagent back up and running, we can snag a Dark Core, make some more Ritual Stones, and request that last Corruption Core. So can I bone meal this? No, it's just a placeable. Well, I guess I'll be brewing for a while. Hey, last Corruption Core is done. I'm currently crafting up some Neptunium and Clay Singularities for these clays here. But we also need to get some of these blue slime balls. We can get these from the blue congealed slimes, which we could get from a mob loot fabricator if we had a slime in a bottle, which doesn't seem too hard to get. Or we could just find these up in Slime Islands, which I don't think I've actually touched many in this playthrough. Hey, those are done. Oh yeah, here we go, there's a ton up here. Oh, it's tank time, baby. Alright, so most of this stuff we actually just have. We can make ultimate fluid tanks. We have all the creative stuff in the clays. We just need some berkelium and tantalum. And for the drum, we need copernicium and lanthanum. So 20 plus 37 equals 57. 92 plus 5 equals 97. And 47 plus 26 equals 73. I haven't made that yet. I made an ultimate fluid tank. That's not creative tank. That's not creative tank. This, however, is creative tank. And how anticlimactic is that, right? Imagine how good it would have felt to get a quest for that. And creative drum. Can't use this one in survival, but you can use the other one. So first and foremost, we're certainly putting these on the wall because, oh my gosh, that's important. Now we do need these for reservoir, but I'm going to take a little bit before we, go that far ahead. Albeit it seems quite easy to do. Actually, like, really easy. So yeah, let's just do a quick little victory lap and then we'll come back to this. And what do I mean by victory lap? Well, I want infinite purifying fluid. And the liquid space thing that the quest tells me to do. So if we just melt down the essence of space here, we get some liquid space here, which we can put into this tank, or an infinite amount of liquid space. Oh, and I could hardly think of a better place to put so much liquid space in a black hole tank. Oh yeah, that's fun. So what else here would I like a functionally infinite amount of? I think we're okay on creosote for the rest of the pack. Oh, but why shouldn't I, right? So I believe we can also just use a gauge dropper to grab the tiniest little bit of purifying fluid. So this gives me purifying fluid, and that gives me purifying fluid. Well, look, that made more sense in my head. Context and all that, right? Oh, that makes me a very happy camper. So at about 1/4 bucket of purifying fluid per solar ingot, do you think somewhere in the ballpark of 50,000 solar ingots should see us through to the end of the pack? Man, I sure hope so. Well, that should hopefully be enough empowered oil to last us till the end of the pack. 5,000 buckets? I would hope so. Alright, so while we're generating a boatload of creosote, let's make the essence of ways. Or 2 of them, I suppose. Let's paint in some spots just so it doesn't look too scary. What are we missing? Some dark matter, waystones, walkways, and elven gateway cores. And the celestial gateways, of course. So we need 12 of these, but I think we have these on autocraft. Need some more glass lens and nocturnal powder, but that's not too bad, all things considered. The rest of this stuff seems pretty easy. Pentacles aren't too bad. Walkways seem quite easy. And the elven gateway cores are from so long ago that it's basically free. Yeah, this shouldn't take too long at all. I didn't get that either! I didn't do that yet! Stop giving me these! Yeah, that much creosote should last us for a while. That was like 60,000 buckets, that was awesome. Looking at our fluids though, I don't think we need anything else in such a industrial quantity for the near future. The one thing I would think of is liquid starlight, but you probably saw what I built up earlier, or at least what I decorated earlier. That was plenty. And so we have a creative reservoir. Well, now we would get the quest, but So next up would be the creative blood drop. This is a bunch of bloodstone tiles, blood tanks, and blood orbs. I think most of the stuff's pretty easy, actually. Well, while blood orbs are crafting, our waystones are done. What else was I missing from this again? Oh, that's right, gateways. Whoops. Thank goodness we have just enough tenebrae to craft some more of the nocturnal powder, to clarify. Alright, so all these celestial gateways gives me an essence of ways. And we'll make another one, of course, if I can click right. And all this blood stuff gives us a creative blood drop. Ooh, 16 corrupted dragon tokens, that's pretty nice. What about some of these other ones? Ooh, half a stack of corrupted cores. A chaos stabilizer core, nice, nice. Another one, nice, nice. Alright, so to continue forward, we need to go up here and grab the medicine bag. We're just going to take another one of these creative infinite storage upgrades, so we'll need another condenser. Fortunately, I've been making a few extra. But we also need a few more just normal medicine bags, which shouldn't be too bad. Oh, I didn't put the reservoir there. That's fine. That's okay. That's fine. That's okay. We could make it again. I mean, it was fairly easy to make, actually. Like, if we have the 2 tanks here, it's fine. It's fine. If we need it, it's not hard to make again. So what do we need for these rainbow charms? Dye clusters. We did these before. Those are pretty easy. That's all easy. Okay, yeah, this is pretty simple. Burning another humble condenser. But, oh, it's for a good cause. Like 4 corrupted cores, which makes me almost an 1/8 of a condenser. And this creative ceremony cheat. Ooh, a stack of white matter. That's pretty nice. This seems like really easy, actually. This is like really, really easy. Yep, easy peasy. Do I want to relive my dreams and perform more totemic ceremonies? I could go kick Baycock's teeth in real quick. So, wind chime, eagle bone whistle. Alright. Wait, what? Why is it not letting me do the wind chime? Am I crazy? Is it not wind chimes? Am I just like bad at reading? Is it too far? Yeah, it was literally that. Okay. Bam. 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 Oh, totem base. There we go. Alright, Baycock. Round 2. I ain't scared of you this time. Hey, buddy. I'm waiting for you to do something to me. Can you break a heart of health? No? Then know your place. He gave me a wither skeleton skull. Well, that was fun. I feel vindicated killing the man who killed me first. Alright, so what do we need for the next one? We need 2 awakened activation crystals, plus the blood drop, and a bunch of Oganesson. Alright, that's pretty easy. Activation crystal, alright. Creative style. Oh, another half a stack of corrupted dragon tokens, alright. Next is for the creative sacrificial dagger. This seems, once again, very easy. 16 chaos stabilizer. Oh man, I'm a winner today. Oh, and before I forget, let's do that. Oh, we haven't made Rhenium yet, and this is number 75. 74 plus 1 equals 75. Nice and easy. Oh, gibby, gibby, gibby. Next up is Blessed Stone. We cannot break this, unfortunately, although I would really like to have a 32! Oh, man. These quest rewards are kind of nice. I think this is easy. 18 Stone Witches Altars, is that a problem? No, I think that's okay. Let's see, so all we're missing is some Oak Spirits, Birch Souls, and Spruce Hearts. And I think those are just from smelting each of those in Witches' Ovens. Do I have a spare one of those? Oh, I do have a spare one of those. Nice. Yeah, I'll just throw this in and put the watch on it. Well, while we're making stuff, let's go make the walk-in little guy. So we need 1500 V plus the Essence of Motion, Cycles, and Ways. Seems like we can just do that here, though. Also, how do we like this chair? I'm like super happy with how this came out. Ooh, maybe I could put like a seat cushion on it? That's probably the way. I should probably do that in the meantime at some point. Anyway, yeah, I really like how this chair came out. I think it's cool. Anyway, altars are done. Oh, I forgot to grab my Heaven Extract. But, you know, that is also done. Ooh, a stabilizer for the guy. And 32 cores for that. Pretty nice, I gotta say. Alright, this one has infinite of every Essentia, I believe. But this is quite the expensive craft. Thankfully, we have all the clay. I mean, let me just put together what we have already. So of these, we are missing quite a few things, but we actually have some of these on AutoCraft. The 16 KKs are slowly crafting. I built 2 of these last night, so we just have 2 more going. That should only take, you know, like 20 minutes. The Tennessine we've not made before, but this is just another fusion recipe. The Essentia infusion providers, however, are a little bit of a rabbit hole. We've made these before, they're just, you know, a little tedious because we need the Impetus mirrors, which needs the Essentia mirrors, which needs magic mirrors. But I think we have most of this stuff on AutoCraft. And then we have the 64K ME Essentia storage cells. We need 8 of these. So we need 8 of the 64K storage components. And, you know, ouch. Also, we don't have the research for this, actually, which is a little awkward. So I guess it's a good thing I made that chair, huh? Well, we got a whole lot of stuff that needs crafting, and it's going to take a little while. We're waiting on V to regenerate for some more of the 64Ks. We're waiting on this to finish up with the 16KKs. And we're almost done with providers, actually. Just probably waiting on something with the Mass Inscriber again. So let's take a little look-see down here to the Essence of Repetition. So we need Thought and the Essence of Movement and the Plasma Fire again. Pretty easy. Did I say this was Thought or Logic? Because it's Logic. I don't know if I said Thought. I feel like I said Thought, but maybe I didn't. Oh, I forgot I had one of these sitting in there. Whoops, question mark? Hey, there's the one I actually care about. Well, I'd hardly say I don't care about it, but you know what I mean. The one that was in my field of view at the current moment. So next we can get this Essence of Dimensionality. So there's a bunch of liquid space, the Essence of Extension, 2-dimensional builders, and force transceivers. I made all of these already because I was bored earlier. They were not too hard, we've made these before, so let's just go put this together. A little bit of this in there, and we're crafting. Liquid style. Oh yeah. Cube. Wall. Oh my gosh, 16 reactor stabilizers, holy! Shoot, we might have a bit easier of a time making those last few condensers. Well, before we get too ahead of ourselves though, we do need the Essence of Continuity, which needs the Essence of the Unbroken, which needs the Essence of Breaking, which is back up here, so we need a red Morning Star. Now the thing about this is I believe we need 2 of them, one for Kikoku, and one for the Essence of Breaking. And this is the Hammer, Pick, and Shovel, but this is the logical conclusion of each of these. And the Dark Matter Hammer requires a Draconic Pickaxe, and so does the Dark Matter Pickaxe. So we need to make Wyvern tools, and Titanium tools, and Desh tools, and Heavy Duty tools, but I think we've gone to Cold Iron before, so let's just encode some patterns and let the machine do it for us. Alright, so now we can start crafting Dark Matter tools. We need 2 hammers, and more Diamond Singularities, 2 pickaxes, 2 shovels, then we can upgrade each of these to Red Matter tier, and we can make 2 whole Red Morning Stars. Oh, was that... Did I skip something? Oh! Come on, man. Dang it, dude. And I already made both. Ah! Yeah, I'll make another set of tools. It's fine. Well, I suppose we do need to make the guitar, so while we're waiting for stuff to finish up, we'll make the guitar stuff. So we're going to need a Draconic Endless Wyvern Tier sword, an axe, a hoe, and shears, which thankfully the shears are pretty straightforward. Oh, that's an easy one down. Unfortunately, I do not have patterns for any of the other tools, so I think I'm just going to make them all manually, because I only need to make them all the one time, right? At least that's the hope. Well, I guess we do have up to Thaumium tier. Do we have up to Thaumium tier for the sword and the like as well? Oh, we do. Okay, that helps. Issue. We need a lightsaber. Or my bad, a Lux Saber. This seems pretty easy, actually. We just need some sun crystals and some glass. You know, I've kind of always wanted to see what these look like. Oh, well, after I'm done doing that. Okay, this is kind of cool. I wish it made, like, noises. That'd be fun. Zoom, zoom, woom. Shh. Anyway, that's enough fun for me. Sword time. Okay, so this time, don't turn them into anything. Just gotta hold them for a second. Just gotta stand back. Cool. I don't know who that is. Wait, no, I think that's one of the pack devs. That name sounds familiar. Cool. Alright, now we can make the Morning Star and the guitar. And we already have quite a few Morning Stars at this rate. Ooh, 8 Corrupted Dragon tokens, not bad. Alright, and we now have access to Kikoku. The Kikoku. The Blade of the Law. A cursed blade. Infinite durability. It can hurt even players in creative mode. It pierces armor. It can be enchanted with anything up to twice the normal level cap. And it simply just straight up combines levels. Wow! I didn't know it was that cool. Uh-oh, I forgot this part. Alright, so we need Opinium cores. Now the thing about Opinium cores is there's a lot of tiers. So they need perfected ones, which need inspiring ones, which need amazing ones, which need darn good ones. Sorry, YouTube's got me here. Which need good ones, and decent ones, and passable ones, and mediocre ones, and pathetic ones, and that's it. Crazy how a pathetic opinion is dark matter. Really a lot to think about. So what am I missing from making one of these? Red matter and dark matter. That's a whole lot of dark matter and red matter at that. And red matter blocks, offensive cores. So I need a rebuffer offensive cores, so that means we're probably out of purified tablets. And a whole lot of red and dark matter. Well, while all of that stuff backlogs, we have the Creative Emmy Essentia storage cell. Contains everything we could ever want. That's a pretty awesome one. Gotta say, pretty excited about that one. So next up is the Mana Tablet, which needs an Infinity Ingot. Makes sense, right? So for that we need Infinity Catalysts, and for that we need an Essence of Infinity. We actually have 2 of the 3 things needed here. We're just missing the Essence of Time, which is just continuity that we're missing. So we just need the Essence of the Unbroken, thus the Essence of Breaking. So let's make this real quick, now that we have the Morning Star to do that. Oh, I see what happened here. We're actually not buffering Offensive because our splash potions keep doing this, where sometimes it'll refill and this like output slot will have a glass bottle in it when it shouldn't, and so it gets the whole thing stuck. I don't really know what to do about this, I'm gonna be real. So, oh well, we're almost there anyways, right? There we go, 1 whole Essence of Breaking. And we can borrow this Empower here for just a moment. I already put the Essence of Breaking in the wall, don't worry. So with some pillars and contrariness, we can make an Essence of the Unbroken. Oh, there's like a lot of text here. Some of them are red, so that's like probably important. I'll read this in my time. You can pause and go through it if you want. That is like so much text. Oh, and this one is even more. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'll read through this. I like reading. I know a lot of people don't, however. Anyway, continuity. So we need a Nazar, 2 colored lenses of Push, 2 Aurum crystals, and the 2 essences we already made. Nazar is pretty easy. This is just all but auto-craftable. The Push lenses, we need some relocator obelisks, but otherwise we're fine. These are pretty cheap. These were way back in Ender.io, so basically free at this point. So it says we stick all this in the arc furnace. Oh, I guess I am only using MV wires here, huh? Well, I mean, it's fine. There we go, continuity. Ooh, some Gert crystal. Alright, the Essence of Time. So, continuity plus dimensionality makes time. This one certainly goes on the wall. Oh man, that's infinity. Time and matter repeated forever. 50 mana pools. So I went ahead and disabled this for the time being because, Well, 50 mana pools is gonna take a lot, and I can imagine no better team to do it than 6 Gaia mana spreaders with potency velocity lenses. Oh, and they're struggling. Oh, hey, progress. Well, while that's doing that, we don't, have everything else done, so we got some stuff to do yet. In particular, we have some, food, I guess. We need some neutronium burgers, tacos, and nuggets. What do you think that tastes like? I'm really thinking about this now. What would a neutron taste like? Star stuff? What would star stuff taste like? Well, if neutrons are like just the neutral parts of an atom, does it taste like nothing? Or does it taste like everything? What does an atom taste like? Man, now, hold on. Can I trade in my key for this question, actually? Anyway, we need chicken nuggets, which is just flour and chicken. That's pretty easy. We need tacos, which are cabbage, beetroot, chicken, pork chops, and either type of dough, and burger. Oh, my sweet beloved burger. I'm American. It's in my blood to love burger. Bread, meat, cheese, and cabbage. Wait, cabbage? Oh no! Oh no! We gotta go to Erebus. I don't suppose I have any cabbage laying around, do I? Oh, okay, no, we don't. Okay, good. I was like really scared for a second. And look at the hunger value on this stuff. Crazy. I will be storing the burger. I want to eat more of those. For the last 1,000 hours or so, I've been subsisting myself off of liquid meat I've been sourcing from skeletons in a mob farm. That doesn't make any sense, and I don't want to know what's in that. It's like hot dogs. Real food. Magical. Real food. Maybe that's truth. So next we need to make some cosmic meatballs from all of it. These are somehow less nutritional than the meat burger is, but that's okay. I guess it's more saturating. So then we need to take them and make some ultimate stew using 10 witches' cauldrons. Can I do that? I feel like every time I see if I can auto-craft witches' cauldrons, I'm excited that I can. I noticed I'm missing mortem chunks. I'll cry. Alright, so next up, while all of that is crafting, we need some ender stars, 2 of them. So we need another 2 irradiant stars. I think we made one of these for something or other a while ago. Yes, the essence of additivity. We need 2 more. For endest pearls. Also all the corruption cores we've been building for the last while. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them. But overall, this doesn't seem too bad. Do we have enough ender ingots for this, actually? Oh, disaster. Okay. I suppose I can make 1 final box of eternal closure. That's fine. Let me tell you, I am not gonna miss this whole process. A couple of these will make a couple ender stars. And it looks like our ender IO singularities are done, so we can craft 2 whole endest pearls. Don't hold that. These things are like crazy scary. So I'm going to first run a backup before I try and... Oh. So I'm going to first run a backup. So I'm going to first run a backup before I attempt to put these in case something goes wrong. Alright. So let's put those in, take them out, pull them off the hotbar, because they scare me. And I don't want to throw a black hole onto my base this close to everything being done. And speaking of done... so is our vicious stew of the cosmic variety, or my bad, ultimate variety. So then once the essence of infinity is done, we can go make some infinity catalysts. Let me actually look at the progress on that. About 2/3 of the way there. Well, I mean, it's making good time at least. It's not the worst thing in the world. Is there anything else I need to be doing? I guess the creative component pouches. We could start on those. So we do need 4 of these, which means we're going to need 4 condensers. And we have 2. So can I make 2 more? What does that look like? What am I held back by? 2 pyrotheum dust, buffer of star leather, buffer of dark realm souls, runes of lust maybe? I don't know why I'd be running low on those. I think this is just buffer issues. Alright, well let's request 1 then, and we can do that. And then we'll request the next one afterwards. Well, while all that's crafting, we still got, stuff to do, I think. Like, we can prepare for the Infinity Catalyst. Let's put some stuff into the Extreme Crafting Table, how about that? So the Endest Pearls and the stew. Next we need some blocks of neutronium, blocks of the ultimate, and some antimatter clusters. I believe this is the last of what we had. Oh, we're almost there. The tiniest little drop of what infinity can hold. But of course, the tiniest drop of infinity is still infinity, is it not? Oh, yes. Maybe one of the worst quest noise bugs I could imagine. Well, let's put it on the wall in any case. We can now set this here and acquire our 3 infinity catalysts. 1 more step. I mean, that's not true. We got a couple steps. We also got a stack of ultimate singularities, holy. Alright, so let's turn exactly one of these into an infinity ingot. Albeit the GUI doesn't seem to like that very much. So we need Aurum, Diabolus, Luna, Praecantatio, and Sols. I mean, like, on one hand, that coloring does look super cool. On the other hand, wow, that is really messed up. Oh, it's almost there. Gimme, 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 gimme. One humble infinity ingot. All the cosmic wonders. Yeah! Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Hold up. Wait, did I just read that right? Mining level stone pickaxe. Wait, that's kind of awesome. That's kind of hilarious, actually. And let's certainly not forget to put these on the wall. I would hate to have to go through all that again. And now we can make our infinite mana tablet. So we need some crystallized mana clusters, which is pretty easy, some mana tablets, which is pretty easy, and the essential storage cell, and one infinity ingot. Creative mana tablet. Alright, the everlasting guilty pool. A whole lot of neutronium, some of these nature's blessings, a neutronium singularity, some fabulous mana pools, which is shimmer rock. Oh, that's pretty easy, actually. Yeah, for the most part, I don't think that's too bad. Yeah, the nature's blessings is just kind of one of every rune plus some overgrowth seeds. Yeah, I think the worst part of that might be the overgrowth seeds, just because I don't really like making them very much. Oh, and the neutronium singularity uses blocks for some reason. I guess it doesn't matter, we have seeds for this now, who cares? Oh, and it gives you a stack of runes of greed. That's funny, because I'm greedy, am I? Oh, I mean, a little bit. Oh, I should probably take some stuff off of here, like this, that, and probably that, because we're almost there. Alright, well, let's start stacking these on. This is pretty fast, honestly. You know what? I would be willing to bet that this is about 50 times faster than making the Essence of Infinity. You see, the joke here is that it said it took 50 full mana pools to make the Essence of Infinity, and this one also explicitly says that it takes only one. So when my guess is actually a known mathematical truth, because 50 divided by 50 is 1. Alright, so funny. Alright, and we should be able to just click this one right in. The Everlasting Guilty Mana Pool. Very cool. Very cool. Very pool, right? Dude, I'm just killing it today, you know? That, like, oh man, wow. Alright, and, well, here's what it all comes to, right? While we technically need the component pouches before we start on the quest for this, let's start filling some slots. How about that? Let's start with the center. I can hardly believe it. It's right there. It's right in front of me. I made it. And I'm gonna make all the infinity catalysts I could ever want. Could make all the infinity ingots I'd ever want. Could make all the blocks of infinity I could ever want. Could make everything I ever want. Hey, where's my quest? Oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Alright, fair enough. Let's kick this hunk of junk out of there. We got a real trophy. And of course, a key and a lock. Well, that just unlocks it, doesn't it? Oh, I could make infinite watches. I could make infinite pedestals. Anything could go as fast as I want. Look at all the tenebrae we have. Look at all the wyvern cores we have. Look at how ticked off this docket is. Well, as much as I hate to leave you on a cliffhanger, I don't. I feel like this video has gone on for quite a while, and I'm sure a finale is in order. A real one, and not one where I spend 2 hours doing nonsense before, you know, doing all the really cool stuff. So I'll probably see you sometime next week, give or take. Depends on how fast I go about doing things. I don't want to rush this one. This one means a lot to me. I've never really beaten an expert pack before, let alone gotten this far in one. And, you know, This is quite a lot for me, I gotta say. Yeah, finally putting down all my bravado. You know, it's, I'll be honest, I'm shaking a little bit. Well, not shaking, but I got goosebumps, you know what I mean? You know, it's, taken quite a long time to get here, and I don't wanna, you know, sour the moment or anything like that. I've said it a few times in the past couple episodes, I think, but I'll get a little sappy around the end of next episode. And don't you worry if you want to see all that without getting boiled. I'll leave you some timestamps and the like to not make you feel too bad or out of place. If you don't want to see what's inside the bag, that's cool. You'll have the option to skip past it, because you too are the master of time. YouTube time. Or something. I don't know, just bear with me here. I'm being fancy and poetic. Anyway, I'll see you sometime very soon, I'm sure. And hey, maybe I'll see some more people. Or maybe I won't see you at all. I don't know. You should show up for next one. It would be a big one. Some would call it a finale, or a grand finale even. Look, I'm like out of really like witty things to say, I'ma be real. I gotta keep all that wit in me for next time. Anyway, once again, thank you for watching, and thank you for following me on my journey thus far. I appreciate you very much, and I hope to appreciate you even more come next time. Bye bye.